From Brunswick Peachtree Lanes in Norcross, Georgia, it's the 16th of 22 Open Division qualifiers of the Brunswick World Team Challenge. A sold-out field of 76 teams contesting the Brunswick World Team Challenge. We're down to our final three here at Brunswick Peachtree Lanes. And hello again, everybody. I'm Mike Jakubowski, along with Hall of Famer Earl Anthony. And Earl, today our tournament leader from Jacksonville, Florida, Kindo Limited.
And they have been outstanding. Through the qualifying rounds, they dominated. They built up a huge lead, but they needed every pin of it because in the match play, they struggled. They were only 4 wins out of 10 matches, and when you look at it that way, you can get in a lot of trouble. They barely held on going into this position round.
And in our semifinal match, Trophies Unlimited from Richmond, Virginia, is getting set to face Allied Label from Lilburn, Georgia.
And these two teams both have momentum going for them. Both of these teams qualified in the middle of the pack, and they really came on strong in the match play. Look for Trophies Unlimited and the Allied match to be a very good, close, high-scoring match.
Who will join our Grand Championship field in Reno, Nevada this August? Our semifinal match is coming up next here on the Brunswick World Team Challenge.
It's a tank.
A dancer.
It's off the charts. It's on target. Concrete. A theory.
Ruthless, only meaner.
It's there in the 10th frame. Perfect symmetry. It's a partner. A hero.
A scapegoat.
It's war and peace. It's a Brunswick ball. For any lane. It's a habit.
When it comes to making quality bowling shoes, no company does it better than Linz. And now Linz has designed an entirely new approach with the Classic Extra. The Linz Classic Extra offers the ability to change the sliding characteristics of both the sole and the heel, providing virtually unlimited options. If you find the approaches are a bit slick or tacky, the Classic Extra enables you to compensate by simply replacing the color-coded slide inserts. Don't settle for anything less than the best Classic Extra from Linz.
Looking for more strikes and more bowling fun? Then look no further than Going for the Gold with Team USA coach Fred Borden. As today's top instructor, Coach Borden will show you ways to reach your full potential. Professional bowlers Mike Albee and Leila Wagner work with Coach Borden to show you the sure way to higher scores. This 12-lesson video is available for only $24.95.
The Brunswick World Team Challenge is brought to you by the American Bowling Congress and the Women's International Bowling Congress, providing championship service to sanctioned leagues across the United States. Make sure your league is sanctioned by the national governing bodies. By Contour Power Grips, the pioneers of the finger grip industry. More pros choose Contour Power Grips. You should too. By Linz Shoes. For the performance approach, it's American-made Linz Shoes, the choice of top professionals and amateurs alike. And by Brunswick. Bowling is sold on Brunswick worldwide. Welcome to Brunswick Peachtree Lanes, Norcross, Georgia, just outside of Atlanta. Trophies Unlimited versus Allied Label in our semifinal match, and Kip Roberts will open up the match on lane 35, the left lane. Roberts giving it a little too much room, coming up with a 2-4-10, Earl.
Exactly right, Mike. Just a little too much room there, and the opening shot, maybe a little opening jitters and a little more ball speed than he needed. We do expect some pretty good scores today, and just like I say, opening jitters might be the problem here. He's going to try to cross the ball to the left side of the 2-pin, slide it across into the 10. Got to hold on.
8 and out for the opening delivery for Trophies Unlimited out of Richmond, Virginia.
And here's Allied Label. I guess, though, Earl, first frame open isn't the worst place to have that sort of thing happen.
That's the place to do it. If you're going to get an open, why not the first frame? Get it over with, but you don't want all 5 guys to do that because everybody's first frame is an individual thing in the Baker system. Everybody gets a first frame.
Bit high leaving the 6. Tom Clark, leadoff player for Allied Label.
Trying to keep that patch on. That patch you see there tells you where he bowls in this Baker system match play game. He's 1-6. That means he bowls the first and the 6th frame.
Clark is 51, a pressman. And to take a look at our Contour Power Grips starting lineups, brought to you by Contour Power Grips, pioneers of the finger grip industry. Here's Trophies Unlimited. We've already seen Trip Roberts, Wayne Sheridan, Paul Zevgolis, Kip Roberts, and John Beasley. Here's someone you're familiar with, Earl.
Yeah, I've seen Wayne bowl for a long time. He's always been a good left-handed bowler. He's struggled in the recent, I'd say the last 5 years, by trying to change his game from full roller to 3/4 roll. But once he gets going, he can throw some strikes. Right now, he's left himself a very difficult spare for a left-hander. Even though they're all in a bunch, it's pretty easy to chop this spare, so he has to be very careful. You see he's switch bowling balls here.
And the Contour Power Grip starting lineup for Allied Label: Tom Clark, Bernie Mainland, Tracy Lamberth, PBA player Stoney Baker in the slot, and Mark Mosayebi will anchor. Here's Bernie Mainland.
We're going to see a variety of angles being played by all the players on our telecast today, and by that I mean you'll see some of them playing between the first and second arrow, such as this, and you'll see some playing in an inside line. And this is a down and in shot, which I think is going to be the most successful. He can control the ball a lot better, control the break point, and here's Paul Zevgolis from the left side playing basically the same shot. A little high, leaves the 6-pin. But you'll see some of the players that like to hook the ball playing in. We already had mentioned that it's been a very high-scoring tournament for the World Team Challenge. Normally we have a more competitive, lower-scoring type event, but this turned into a very competitive event, Mike, even though with the high scores.
And Zevgolis picking up the 6-pin.
Paul waiting for his spare ball. If you're wondering why he's still standing there, he's just going to get it off the rack. Here's some high game stats. Kindo limited with a 12.42, which is the second high team game all time on the World Team Challenge, and this is our 5th season.
That's 245 a man. Lamberth on the strike. First strike of the competition.
A lot of power in that shot. Tremendous rotation on the ball, and you'll see, as I mentioned, players playing a variety of angles, and here's our first look at Kip Roberts. And this is a young man that can get plenty of rotation on the bowling ball, and he can get lots of rotation on it as it gets to the pocket area, and that's where it counts. Right there. A little too much this time. 3-6-9, 3-6-7-10, and this really looks awful. It looks ugly, but folks, it's very makeable, especially for a good player like this. He's going to get his spare ball, and he's using a strike ball. He's going to go cross lane and try to get it between them. Slide it over. More high games here, Mike. Look at those, 300 games.
Couple of 300 games. Both of those players shot 300 in the second game of qualifying, and will split the $1,000 Lynn Shoe bonus for throwing perfect in qualifying. And there's a wonderful conversion from Kip Roberts.
Here's another look at it. Kip with a chance to show off a little bit here in his first frame on television this week. Perfect shot right between the 3-6. The ball takes out the 10. And of course, the 3 went right across and took out the 7. You can see a lot of skid in that ball. The middle of the lane has a lot of oil, and that's another reason why the scores were higher this week than they normally are in the team challenge.
Stoney Baker's 34 runs a pro shop, leaves a week 10.
Stoney just a little late with that. Had a lot of good roll on the ball, but just a little behind the head pin, and the ball didn't really hit hard, and that's why they call it the week 10.
Here's the second and third highest qualifying series of all time. 792 and 785. Baker picks up the 10-pin. Now, Earl, we move to the money men, the anchor players, bowling in the 5th and 10th frames. Here's Trophies Unlimited anchor John Beasley.
John, over the years, has had some back problems that he's recovered from surgery back about 2 years ago. He doesn't quite get through the ball the way he did 4 or 5 years ago, but he's still a very fine player. And now he's left himself a difficult spare, the 2-5. Difficult, I mean, it's so easy to chop this. He has to be very careful. And I'm kind of surprised some of the bowlers must be because of the amount of oil in middle of the lane. They're using their strike ball to shoot some of their spares, and John is doing that right now. Generally, they'll have a spare ball that'll go very straight and take the hook out of the back end. Great cover there.
Now here's Mark Mosayebi. Watch this guy's game in terms of fundamentals.
This is a great game. Good free arm swing. Gets tremendous roll on the bowling ball. Gets all the ball speed in the world if he needs it.
I really enjoy the steady head. He's just concentrating on the target the whole time. Mosayebi on the strike. We'll go to break and be right back with more of our semifinal match. Welcome back to the Brunswick World Team Challenge from Brunswick Peachtree Lanes in Norcross, Georgia. We're in the first of 2 games in the Baker system in our semifinal match to decide who goes on to face Kindo Limited. And Trophies Unlimited striking Earl 62% in match play.
Well, that's a phenomenal percentage. Of course, as you can see, they haven't gotten one yet in this match, but they will get going. You can count on it. There's the first strike for Trophies Unlimited.
Kip Roberts gets the job done.
Here's another look at that shot. Remember, I told you they're playing a variety of angles. Kip is between, right around the 17 board, between the 3rd and 4th arrows. Some of the players playing an extreme outside angle, some playing deep, some trying to hook it. And when you have a lane condition like that, you generate high scores because that means it's playable for most anywhere on the surface. Another weak 10 where the ball just really didn't get into the roll strong enough or soon enough to carry the 10 out. Just not quite enough energy in the pocket. Tom Clark going across lane here. 51 years old. Good shape, big strong guy.
Whoops. No, missing the 10 pin.
Again, I'm surprised, and I'm not trying to pick on Tom, but I'm surprised that the players are using their strike ball for some of these spares, knowing that these reactive resin balls are hard to control and would tend to hook.
Here's Wayne Sheridan. The 2-7 you see on his chest signifies that he will bowl in the 2nd and 7th frames for Trophies Unlimited. We're in the 7th frame of our first game. 2 games constitute a Baker match. Total pins your winner. A double for Trophies.
A little better than his opening shot when he missed the head pin to the right. This one he gave it plenty of room. Just kind of dumped it off his hand. Didn't want to really do a lot to the ball because there's plenty of back end down there, and got the 5 out. Wayne checking the score overhead.
Here's Bernie Mainland, 50 years old. And the messenger takes out the 10.
There's the difference between what Tom did, his partner just before this, his teammate. His ball hit weak. Look at how this ball picks up the rotation, basically the same angle of entry, but he gets the pins to jumping and dancing, and the head pin comes all the way back across to take out the 10. That's the difference with a live ball and a ball that doesn't really have any energy.
Zevgolis strikes, and we've got a lead change. A 28-pin deficit disappeared in a hurry, and boy, that happens quite often in the Baker system.
It can happen, especially if you make mistakes. If you open up like they did and missing the 10-pin, a 1-pin spare. We've talked consistently and time after time about how important it is to fill frames, especially in the match play, the Baker system.
In a high-scoring situation, is it easy to lose track of spares when you're throwing so many strikes?
That's the problem. In a regular team qualifying round, the scores were so high, the players got used to throwing a lot of strikes. For example, our Kindo, our tournament leaders, averaged almost 220 a man. And here's another look at that last shot, playing right around the 11 or 12 board, giving it a little room. And this is a great entry angle. That ball was going straight back when it hit the pins. Nothing can stand on that kind of an entry.
Look at that, 70% of strikes in match play for Kip Roberts. And another. everybody had a turn through the lineup, Earl, and everybody's starting to light it up in the second shot here.
Opening jitters, we've seen that week after week in the team challenge, and you can't blame them. A lot of these guys get very few chances to appear on national television, and when that camera goes on and that little red light lights up, sometimes you get a little nervous. Stoney Baker. I like that name, Stoney Baker. Has a nice sound to it.
And Baker. That makes 3 in a row of turkey for Allied Label.
Well, this is what we expected now, and we expected. Here's another look at that shot as the ball rotates and enters the pocket area. We saw some big scores this week, a lot of big team games, 270s, things like that, and we expected that kind of scoring, not necessarily the 270s, but we expect some 230s, 240s today for the championship. So hang around, folks. You're going to see some good bowlers making some great shots and some big numbers.
The seesaw swings back to Allied's favor, but Trophies can take the lead with the strike, and 6 around the 10 that time.
Well, John Beasley made the shot he wanted. You can see his disappointment, his reaction there, and his teammates checking the score in the overhead unit. These Brunswick scorers keep you right up to date. And chance here with the spare for Trophies Unlimited to open with a 210. Not a bad game. And they're right in the hunt with Allied. This is going to be, as we mentioned, we feel, a close, high-scoring match. And 2 games total pins to determine the winner.
Talking about the high scoring, Earl, 10 teams make it to match play, and the cut was 183 pins over a 200 average.
And that figures out to somewhere around 206, if my math is correct, and that's pretty high. Normally, that could actually be our tournament leaders when you figure that's per man per game over 30 games of individual play. That's pretty high scores. That's 10th.
What do you think led to the high scoring environment this week?
Well, I think that there's just a little more oil in the middle of the lane. We've got a strong field, obviously. We had 76 teams, a sellout, teams on the waiting list, but we've got a lot of talented teams here, and some superstars, you might say. People like Dave Davis, a Hall of Famer, the left-hander from Florida. This is another very talented player here, Mark Mosayebi. So we had a lot of fine players, which making good shots. And live pin decks, good kickbacks, and there's the kind of pin action you get when you've got live pin decks right there. The good kickbacks. Barely got the head pin. The head pin did all the damage there. Keep your eye on the pin in the front, the head pin, the _1 pin. Watch it go to the sideboards, come back, and just get everything going from left to right. Here it goes to the side, comes all the way back, and throws the 8 pin clear across into the 10, which is kind of a unique carry, but that's what you'll get when you've got a live ball, live pin decks, live kickbacks.
Allied can take it off the sheet for 237 here with 2 more.
Well, just a little softer with the ball speed and a natural reaction when the ball doesn't quite get back. But it's still a good shot. Got it in the pocket, almost carried the 4-9. Great opening game, 226. It's a good start.
226, Allied Label, 210, Trophies Unlimited. We'll turn it around and bowl game 2 of our semifinal match right after this on the Brunswick World Team Challenge.
I've won 23 PBA titles and 2 ABC Masters with Contour Power Grips. They're my choice. Don't you think they should be your choice?
That's a winner, folks. What a great performance by Ernie Sallas.
You know, Earl, I never really thought I had anything in common with you until I won the ABC Masters title.
Ah, but Ernie, I won the Masters twice.
But Earl,
And Ernie, I've won 46 times on the PBA tours.
But Earl,
And I'm also been elected to both the ABC and PBA Halls of Fame.
Okay, enough. I get the picture.
Well, there is one thing we do have in common, Ernie.
We
both use Contour Power Grips.
And they give me the feel I want shot after shot.
That's right, and they have the styles and colors that can make anybody's game better.
Contour Power Grips will also help me win my second Masters title, too.
Yeah, Ernie. Contour Power Grips, manufactured by the pioneers in the finger grip industry, Pro Sports Systems. More pros choose Contour Power Grips. You should too. Ask your Pro Shop professional for Contour Power Grips.
All right, why is bowling my favorite sport? No matter how bad a shot you throw, you never lose your ball, and it always comes back to you. There are never any rainouts, and striking out's a good thing.
Bowling allows me to keep up with old friends, and also it gives me the opportunity to make new ones.
It's a lot easier to hit one pocket than it is 6.
I don't have to set up my own pins or keep my own score anymore. Everyone's a winner when you take the family bowling. Join in the fun. Take the family bowling this week.
General Manager of Brunswick Peachtree Lanes, Wayne McDaniel. This is the 5th time that the Brunswick World Team Challenge has been to Brunswick Peachtree, and this event was sold out in December. We thank Wayne and his entire staff for all of their help here this weekend. We now move to game 2. We switch lanes, which means Allied Label now moves to the left lane with their 16-pin lead. Tom Clark will lead it off. See how he had those glasses up on his head a little bit?
What a way to start.
Might be a time for new prescription.
There you go. What happens when you switch lanes is generally there is a difference between the two lanes, regardless of how good the lane man is, unless he totally blocks or walls them up. If it's a normal playable condition, which this is, there is going to be a difference. And that difference, unfortunately for Tom, he has to be the guinea pig. He has to get out there and see what's going to happen and find out for his team. Then he'll go back to the bench and say, listen, guys, I made a pretty good shot there, or I made a bad shot, or whatever the case may be. And they've got to pay attention and say, you know, did the ball overreact? Did it hook more? And I'm telling you all this, and he's not even talking to anybody. He's just sitting there paying no attention at all to his teammates.
And that's not good, because communication.
You got to communicate. Yeah, normally the good teams do that. They talk to each other. Ball off his hand was going to be high, and he knew that, and you can bet by his reaction that he's disappointed that he made that kind of mistake. What happened is he set it down very early. The ball was almost on the lane before it got to the foul line. And so when that happens, here's another look, and watch the ball's off his hand right there. And never really got it out in front of him, never had a chance to get it on line. So when you do that, it's going to hook early, and unfortunately he didn't break it up. So both teams starting with an open, and no one really taking command. Nobody really taking a shot at that high roller bonus money, Mike.
That's right. The high roller high score bonus is brought to us by the High Roller Tournament Series. Both teams are eligible to receive a $500 bonus for each TV Baker game over 240 and each 2-game Baker series over 450.
Again,
yikes.
There, now see there, that's what I was talking about. I feel that if Tom Clark, when he was leading off for the Allied team, had sat down and said, listen, guys, I think this lane is hooking more, he might have kept him from, he might have maybe thrown a bucket or a wall shot instead of this big
would have made an adjustment based on his teammates' recommendation.
Yeah, I think that communication, as you mentioned, Mike, is so important. You have to help each other, talk to each other.
Here's Wayne Sheridan, age 50.
Well, now you go to the two left-handers here, Sheridan and Zevgolis, basically bowling second and third for Trophies Unlimited. And they're not going to talk to anybody because nobody wants to talk to the left-handers anyway. So they're just going to get up there and bowl and do their thing, come back and make their spares, especially Zevgolis. Nobody wants to talk to Zevgolis. And when Paul sees this, he's going to yell at me, but that's all right.
Well, they were talking to Paul in qualifying. He shot 699 and 729 to lead in average at 238 over the 6 games of qualifying. What is the format here in terms of making it to TV?
Well, it's the same we use all the time, Mike, and it's 6 games of qualifying. We had, as you mentioned, 70. There's another open, back-to-back for both teams. This is incredible. We had 76 teams qualify. They bowled 6 regular team games. The top 10, based on total pinfall, then went into the Baker System match play, where they bowled 10 two-game Baker System matches, one against each of the other teams, including a position round. And there is a bonus situation involved. If you win a game, you get 15 bonus pins. If you win both games or total pins, you get another 20 bonus pins, a total of 50 possible. The top 3 teams carried their pinfall over, plus their Baker System match play records and their pinfall won there. The top 3 teams you see out here today. And Kindo, as I mentioned earlier, dominated the qualifying, the regular team portion of the event, especially the second 3-game set where they shot 34-80, which is unbelievable. But they just held on because they only won 4 of their 10 matches, so they just barely did hang on to lead the tournament. Allied was really closing, Trophies Unlimited was really closing fast, catching them.
We are 5 for 5, all opens, Earl.
Yeah, this is incredible. Most of this is just lack of concentration and lack of communication between the players. Zevgolis should get it going here. He's the kind of guy that just gets the ball in the pocket area, gets it in play. If he doesn't strike, he generally leaves a very easy spare, and he's a good spare shooter. That could be trouble. I can't believe these guys. Now, he got his elbow out there to the left so far on that one that if somebody had been bowling on lane 35, he'd have knocked him down with it. That was incredible. when you get your elbow way out to the left like that, you're going to throw the ball to the right. There's no question. For a right-hander, if you get your elbow out to the right, the ball's going to go left. And that's all Paul did on that shot. He never gave it a chance. Never got through the shot.
We got a spare. Back with more of our semifinal match right after this. Brunswick World Team Challenge was the subject of conversation on Matt Stewart's Sports Unlimited show. ABC Hall of Famer Bob Hart and Lucy Giovinco, 1996 U.S. National Amateur Champion and 1997 Team USA member, joined Matt Stewart to talk about bowling here in the Atlanta area. Back to our semifinal match, Earl, and we'll see if we can get things going. A lot of opens. Allied Label clinging to a 4-pin advantage. Winner of this match will face Kindo Limited for the title here in Norcross, Georgia.
Well, maybe that brief break for the commercial and that little segment with Hart and Giovinco will get things going here. And boy, oh boy, these guys are either very confused or there doesn't seem to be anybody that has any idea of what the ball's going to do on that left-hand lane.
We started rough. All of a sudden, both teams, trophies with a string of 4 strikes, Allied with a string of 3, and now we're back to trouble.
Well, I don't think it's the lane condition. I think there might be a transition. The oil might be moving a little bit, but I think the guys are just, I'm watching some of the footwork and things like that, and it seems like some of them are rushing the line. They're not very balanced at the foul line. They're having problems with their footwork and with their timing. So maybe the young guys here, Kip Roberts, maybe he can get something going for Trophies Unlimited. This is a good, solid game. This guy can get the foul line with some balance and get some rotation on the ball. We'll watch what Kip can do. Gave it a lot of room. And he leaves a difficult spare, the 2-8. Kind of surprised at Kip. He wasn't throwing the ball that way on the left lane. Maybe they're... see, the problem with this team, with Trophies Unlimited, again, they have the 2 left-handers. They start with a right-hander, go to 2 left-handers, which can not really help the other right-handers line up, even though they bowled extremely well to get to this point. When you're struggling on a pair of lanes, you need to really communicate, and that hasn't happened yet for either team.
You heard the crowd response, and I bet you Kip Roberts' heart fluttered a bit, but he got them both.
These are the money players right here, Mike, as you mentioned earlier, and these are the guys, Mark, for example, who have to get up there, as you see his lifetime TV stats in the Baker system. Baker games 4, 5 strikes and 3 spares, no opens, pretty good, pretty strong. They have to perform, and they're kind of an inspiration for the rest of the team also, because if he gets up there and gets that strike as he did, that makes the team feel like we've got something to work with now. And we know we got one guy that's going to really bowl well, so let's get up there and help him. John Beasley can do the same thing for his team and his opportunity. John's made 2 good shots in the opening game and left the 10-pin and got the strike. Got around that one really well there.
Strike in the 5th for John Beasley. As we now move to the last rotation of players, 6-pin lead for Allied Label. 5 frames remaining here in our semifinal match. The winner to move on to the Silver Legacy Grand Championships at the National Bowling Stadium in Reno, Nevada this August. Clark with 45% strikes in match play.
Well, it's about the same place he threw it in the first frame and got away with it this time. He split in the first frame this time, leaves a 3-6-10. Not an easy spare. The ball, when it left his hand, was going to the left. It really never had a chance to roll up to the pocket. It acted like he tried to force it to the pocket, just throw it hard and make it stay there, but it wasn't going to do that. So cross lane at the spare. Oh boy.
Yikes.
The lane had been about 6 inches longer, but it wasn't. Great cover there. Good shot.
We move to the 6th frame for Trophies Unlimited. Trip Roberts. Couple of splits and 1 strike in his effort thus far.
Chip, a very deliberate player, only 19 years old. Look at the concentration, watch his eyes. He'll never blink. He just concentrated on that target.
Crossing over for the strike is Roberts.
The Jersey squasher.
The conclusion of our semifinal match is coming up next here on the Brunswick World Team Challenge.
You're a winner, and you deserve recognition. In sanctioned leagues and tournaments, 2 million awards are handed out each year by the national governing bodies of bowling, the American Bowling Congress, the Women's International Bowling Congress, and the Young American Bowling Alliance.
But your membership card entitles sanctioned league bowlers to more than the awards program.
There's more than $1 million each for college scholarships and veterans hospitals, bowlers supporting their communities.
Every member has a chance to compete in thousands of special events, locally, nationally, and internationally.
Sanctioned leagues also provide for the standardization of rules and supplies, plus league prize money is bonded.
Equipment testing and research helps advance the sport.
Your membership card does all that.
And every lane is inspected annually by local association volunteers. In short, everything runs smoother, and sanctioned leagues are a lot more fun.
So have more fun and help shape the future of bowling by making sure your league is sanctioned by the national governing bodies, the ABC, WIBC, or YABA.
Earl Anthony and Mike Jakubowski with the conclusion of our semifinal match. We're in the 7th frame. Allied label, Bernie Mainland, and a strike for Mainland.
Well, now's when they have to turn it on. Either team that can take command at this point obviously is going to win the match. Even though Allied Label started this, here's another look at that shot, by the way. The spinner holds the line longer, goes into a heavy roll on the back end. But Allied Label started this match with this game of this 2-game match, second game, with a 16-pin advantage. But that went away in a hurry when they started with 3 consecutive opens. Trophies Unlimited, a chance to really keep it going. Now, there are some questionable strikes there. Kip Roberts gets up, throws the high Brooklyn crossover, and carries it for the double. And here's a look at Wayne Sheridan's ball barely hitting the pins, the head pin, and the bucket crumbler. My, like dominoes. And that creates a little bit of minor elation on the bench there, some smiles among the teammates. But
Lamberth needs to strike here to cut the lead to 4.
And it's coming down to the money men again, and it always seems to in the team challenge.
And the crowd getting a little excited, the team up on their feet.
Another look at that shot, very similar to the one Wayne Sheridan threw, and again, the bucket crumbler, the last 2 to go, the 8-10. Paul Zevgolis, a down and in player, very unique style. The reason he holds the ball by his hip like that is because he wants to get it in motion sooner, get it down sooner.
He knew he had that one. He went to his knees. The lead goes back to 14 for Trophies Unlimited.
Right, and it was a big strike, really, that they can just continue to match shots. And this is a great shot here, 10 in the pit. And down on the knee, and see, now, if I got down like that, you'd have to help me up. That's the problem. That's why I never do that. Here we go, the guys that are bowling for the Bucks, 4th and 5th place players, they've got to make shots, and that is not what you expected from Stoney Baker. Stoney let that one kind of get away from him. I think he felt he'd made a good shot there, just didn't get the ball reaction he wanted. The washout, 1-2, 1-2-4-10, and he's going to another ball, try to throw it a little straighter. The idea, obviously, to get the ball to the left side of the head pin, let the head pin take out the 10. He's going to play it down in the middle of the lane here. Good shot. Oh, yeah, what a shot. What a great shot when they really needed it desperately. Right now, the match still possible. Here's another look at that shot. Great cover here. It's still in the wood. They could still win this, but they would have to have help from Trophies Unlimited. And as I say, we're getting down to the money, guys. Kip Roberts, a good player, especially under pressure. He's been really solid throughout the tournament, and they need him right now. A strike here would pretty much lock up this match. Plenty of room. And that hit right there is the bread and butter hit for a guy like Kip Roberts. The way he rotates the ball, the way he gets the ball speed he wants and the break point he wants, he's going to carry that hit 9 out of 10 times. Just unfortunately for his team, it didn't happen. And, you know, after a couple of lucky shots, now all of a sudden they get the good shot and it doesn't strike.
Always amazing how they seem to even out that way.
Very important spare. Careful. Careful. Nope. Well, that'll get your heart pounding a little bit. You're looking down at the bench. I saw Paul Zevgolis taking a deep breath.
We're within a mark. We're in the 10th frame, and as so often happens, we're down to our anchor players to decide the match.
Only 7 pins, if my math is correct, separating these two teams at this point.
Mosayebi, solid.
Well, one more, they can take the lead, and then it would force a double from John Beasley. And nobody likes to get up there in that situation when your team is depending on you to do that. Some guys perform better than others, and that's why they're in this position. That's why they're bowling 5th. Strike here to take the lead. Oh my, now is that good or what?
That was the best shot of the day.
Let me tell you what, everybody else on his team struggled on that lane, you might say, as we look at that shot for the double in the 10th again. But he's thrown 3 strikes, 3 very solid shots in the pocket. I guess that's why he's 5th, right?
He's 5 of 6 thus far. 5 of 6 strikes.
Count is important. 7 count, we could have a tie. Well, takes care of that. John Beasley at the ball return knows exactly what he needs to do to win this match. 2 strikes. You know, if I add it up right, I didn't add it right. It's actually a mark would win it, wouldn't it? A mark would win the match. Is that correct? Well, he needs this spare to win it. I'm going through all this thing about all that Mark did, Mosayebi did when he got up there and got the double was force John Beasley to get a mark to win the match. A spare strike would win it by 5 pins. Excuse me for my poor math there, folks, but a spare here with good count would win the match. Well, it wasn't a cinch, but he did cover it, the 3-6 on the outside. 6 pins to win.
Where would you throw it in this situation?
Right at the middle of the head pin. Hard and straight. Right down the middle of the lane. You don't want to get fancy here, leave a washout or the bucket or something. You want to throw it right down the middle and just like this. That's what I do.
Our winners. We'll go to a round of Bowling World after this. And our championship match is coming up next. Allied Label will face Kindo Limited.
Now it's time to go around the bowling world, brought to you by the High Roller Tournament Series. Cincinnati, Ohio's Don Scudder has been named the 1996 Hedden Male Amateur Bowler of the Year. Scudder won the 1996 American Bowling Congress singles title and, as a member of the Pollard's Bowl team, added a second eagle with the 1996 ABC Team All-Events title. The crafty right-hander is also a member of the Abba Treb de Fox team that finished second in a Brunswick World Team Challenge Open Division qualifier at Woodland Bowl in Indianapolis back in February. Kendra Cameron of Gambrills, Maryland is Hedden's 1996 Female Amateur Bowler of the Year. A member of 1997 Team USA, Cameron was runner-up in last year's U.S. Amateur Championships in St. Louis. Kendra led her Team USA squad to victory in the Brunswick World Team Challenge Women's Division event in Indianapolis. We will see both the women and the men's Team USA lineups at the Silver Legacy Grand Championships at the National Bowling Stadium in Reno, Nevada in August. The Women's International Bowling Congress honored special contributions to bowling at their annual meeting recently held in Reno, Nevada. American Bowling Congress Executive Director Darrell Dobbs, who passed away in February, was honored with the Gladys Baker Friendship Award. Columbus, Ohio's Joe Liebrock received the Helen Baker Award, which recognizes service achievements by a WIBC member. Diane Hartman was honored with the Agnes Duffy Membership Development Award for contributions to recruiting new members. Jack Tate was named the WIBC Proprietor of the Year, which recognizes local and national support of women's bowling. Roger Bladd of Burnsville, Minnesota established scoring records on his way to victory in the High Roller Easter Senior Classic. Bladd pocketed $30,000 out of the $500,000 High Roller payout. The High Roller Senior Circuit continues in August with a special 10th edition Senior Classic at the Showboat in Las Vegas. The $500,000 40 and over Classic follows, hosted by the brand new Orleans Hotel, Casino, and Bowling Center in Las Vegas. Around the Bowling World has been brought to you by the High Roller Tournament Series. For entry information, call 800-257-6179. The Brunswick World Team Challenge from Brunswick Peachtree Lanes in Norcross, Georgia returns with our championship match after these messages.
Welcome back to Brunswick Peachtree Lanes in Norcross, Georgia. Our championship match. Trophies Unlimited defeated Allied Label 412-407 in our semifinal and now move on to face Kindo Limited. Trophies Unlimited and Kip Roberts to lead off.
The Baker system averages of these teams were phenomenal this week. Our tournament leaders, Kindo, averaged 215 in the Baker system and only won 4 matches. This team, Trophies Unlimited, averaged 223, which is a phenomenal, almost 223 average.
Yeah, that's unbelievable.
It
for
is,
Baker.
For Baker. And of course, the team that finished third averaged 218. And here's our first look at Tommy Nevitt, longtime player on the PBA Tour.
Down and in, week 10.
Tommy likes to get around the ball, and by that I mean he likes to rotate around the side of it and spin it a little bit. And a lot of times players that can't throw it real hard will spin the ball. It helps them get it down the lane so it doesn't grip as soon as it normally would if they rolled it. And by spinning it, they can keep it in play longer and keep the ball in line longer and still create some energy when the ball does grip the lane and turn into the pocket.
The Brunswick World Team Challenge is brought to you by the Silver Legacy Casino, proud host of the 1997 Grand Championships, August 24th through the 28th, with qualifying in the exciting finals at the National Bowling Stadium in Reno, Nevada. The winner of this match will win an all-expense paid trip out to the Grand Championships. Here's Wayne Sheridan.
That was going right when he let go of it. Big smile on Wayne's face. He's very, very happy with that result. It wasn't where he was aiming, I'll guarantee you. This ball at least, he missed by about 2 boards there, but they both had arrows on them, unfortunately. And I'd say about 5-6 boards inside his target there. That's close enough if you're left-handed. What the heck? I'm a left-hander. That's close enough.
Here's Danny Kovach for Kindo.
Very unique, excuse me, Mike, very unique and unusual style there. And as you look at the Kindo lineup, brought to you by Contour Power Grips. More pros choose Contour Power Grips, and you should too. Tommy Nevitt, Danny Kovach, Jeff Long, Ernie Sallas, and Andy Brown. And here's Paul Zevgolis taking the ball out of his left hip pocket and rolling it down the lane between the first and second arrow. And unfortunately for Paul, a much better shot than Wayne Sheridan's, but he leaves the 6-pin. Wayne carried the crossover.
Zevgolis led qualifying here with 238 on series of 699 and 729 in his 6 qualifying games.
That unique style of how he holds the ball there, I asked him about that, and he explained why he does it, to get the ball in motion sooner. But he said he also is trying to get away from that because it's causing problems in his neck. Because, you know, notice he turns to the side when he does that to look at the ball and holds his head off to the side, and it's created a problem. Here's some high games, Mike, big games.
Andrew Silverman, 792. And Joey Pirani, 785. That's a number 2 and 3 series all time here in 5 years in Brunswick World Team Challenge competition. And there's Zevgolis leading qualifying at 238. Former Team USA member David Garber.
And these are outstanding scores, Mike, and you can see the regular and the Baker system averages, which we've talked about already. But this is unique for the team challenge. I have to say that. I have to let everybody know that normally, if you can shoot, 5 teams might average over 200 to get there. And we'll be back with more of this opening match in our championship match right after this.
I take the same route to the local pro shop. I wear the same boxers on every show. I watch the same TV program every week. I listen to the same CD every night. I eat the same thing on Wednesdays. I am the same man I used to be. I have a different ball for every lane, but they're all from the same company.
Looking for more strikes and more bowling fun? Then look no further than Going for the Gold with Team USA coach Fred Borden. As today's top instructor, Coach Borden will show you ways to reach your full potential. Professional bowlers Mike Albee and Leila Wagner work with Coach Borden to show you the sure way to higher scores. This 12-lesson video is available for only $24.95.
Fourth frame, first game of our two-game championship match. Here's Kip Roberts for Trophies Unlimited. Coming up short, almost kicking them off.
Well, you get some of those to fall for you, and that's when you know things are going your way, and you can really get some momentum build up on the team. And, as we talked about, there were 76 teams here, a sold-out field. This particular event, always a very strong event, as most of the World Team Challenge events are, and we're running out of these, Mike. We're down to our very few. This is our 16th of 22 qualifying events.
Precious few opportunities left to qualify for the Grand Championships.
Some of those are in big metropolitan areas like Baltimore, Pittsburgh, places like that coming up. So you better call Tom Bodecker at the American Bowling Congress and find out if there's any left. And in just a few moments, we will show you who to call and how to get them. Our first look here.
Ernie Sallas.
Ernie Sallas, and that's really given a little more room than need to be. And here's a look at some of the upcoming events. Dublin Bowl in May.
Both of these are sold-out events. We do have openings available at NKC Pro Bowl and at Don Carter Kindo Lanes in Miami. Country Club Lanes. We have some women's division. The women's division, we have some entries left. The open division is sold out. Oh, a hook ball on the spare, Earl.
Yeah, I'm always amazed at that, but he was trying to really, I think, use that as a lineup for his next strike ball, try to give it more room and hook it a little less speed, and he got it into that, basically, you might say, an out-of-bounds area out there. If you get it too wide, it's just not going to come back, and it didn't. And not a physical error so much as a mental error there.
Very interesting on his qualifying average, Earl, with all these high scores this weekend. At 184.
Both teams, I really felt that Trophies Unlimited coming into this championship match had the edge because they'd won the match before. They beat a good team, Allied. That got them going in the right direction. They've got the momentum going for them. Kinko, on the other hand, only won 4 of their 10 matches coming into this match, so they haven't done well in match play. It would, in my opinion, behoove the team on the left, Trophies Unlimited, to really get it going early, put some pressure on Kinko, and see if they can respond.
For more information on entries in the World Team Challenge, call the hotline at 414-423-3387 as Andy Brown comes up high.
And there's a normal adjustment, you might say, based on Ernie Sallas. Ernie got up there and threw 2 balls out to the right that did absolutely nothing, missed the head pin to the right both times. Andy Brown gets up there and says, wow, that must be really tight out there to the right. And so he throws it up there at the head pin and almost got a split, got away with it, and then whizzes the spare. I can't believe this. This is just phenomenal. These guys bowled so good all week to get to this point, but opening jitters possibly. Here's another look at that shot. Ball going left when it left his hand. It never really had a chance to get over there. Those spares, normally the ball will slide in the middle of the lane. It doesn't seem like they're getting the skid that they expect out of the oil in the center of the lane. So maybe the oil is dissipating to the point where the lanes are getting a little touchy and the players are having a problem getting the ball reaction that they've gotten throughout the week. That didn't look too tough. He's still hanging right in there.
That's Trip Roberts. That's 2 in this game.
Another look at that shot, 10 in the pit. And here's another guy that can get it going. The reason you got him bowling lead off is they're the guys that can line you up, get you going, tell you what's happening with the lanes. Tommy Nevitt is good at that. He throws that spinner down the lane. He can keep it in play like this. And that's what he's there for.
Nevitt's going to fire up the Kinko squad. We'll be back with more of our first game right after this on the Brunswick World Team Challenge.
When it comes to making quality bowling shoes, no company does it better than Linz. And now Linz has designed an entirely new approach with the Classic Extra. The Linz Classic Extra offers the ability to change the sliding characteristics of both the sole and the heel, providing virtually unlimited options. If you find the approaches are a bit slick or tacky, the Classic Extra enables you to compensate by simply replacing the color-coded slide inserts. Don't settle for anything less than the best. Classic Extra from Linz.
Getting the proper feel is important to every bowler. Grip inserts provide you with that proper feeling on every shot. That's why today's top professionals choose only Contour Power Grips, and you should too.
Contour Power Grips, manufactured by the pioneers in the finger grip industry, Pro Sports Systems. More pros choose Contour Power Grips, you should too. Ask your Pro Shop professional for Contour Power Grips, the grips that legends use.
Absolute power corrupts.
Abso-freaking-lutely!
It's not enough to love the game. You gotta love to win.
Don't roll with the punches. Throw them.
And we're back with our championship match. First game of 2 in the Baker system. Paul Zevgolis for Trophies Unlimited. We bowled through the 7th frame, and Danny Kovach doubled for Kindo Limited to cut the lead to 8 pins. Wayne Sheridan picking up a single pin. And now we turn it over to Jeff Long.
Barely. If they hadn't put paint on that pin, I think Wayne would have missed it. A big sigh of relief from him and his teammates.
With a strike, Long can get the lead here for Kindo. Well, 10 pin.
Well, he had everything going good that time except didn't carry. Here's a look at Mitch Mitchell, an ABC director.
Also sponsor of the Allied team.
He says, hey, I'm on television.
And team captain as well. There's the score, 9 pins for Trophies Unlimited. And here's Kip Roberts looking to double for Trophies.
Oh, big break there. The 3-6-10 and not an easy spare. There you go.
ABC Assistant Executive Director on hand. He went to college just down the street from here at Georgia Tech.
Well, he's got to be very comfortable here, huh? They like the area. Roger Long, an employee of the American Bowling Congress, and like so many of them, like Eddie Bauer, outstanding contributors to the sport. We're having some fun watching this spare shooting. Believe me, these people, people at home, you're watching this. This is not how you make your spares, but these guys are great spare shooters normally. And right now, there's something going on. Maybe there's a virus in the air or something that's creating this, but this is not the way they normally cover these spares. They're much better than this.
Okay, here's Ernie Sallas.
Now, Ernie has yet to hit the head pin. He's missed it to right twice. Let's see if he makes any kind of an adjustment here. Looks like he's moved in and gave the ball more room, tried to slow it down, and got the same exact ball reaction, except this time he got the washout. The 1-2, 4-10. And here's another look at that shot. You can see he's playing between the 3rd and 4th arrow, giving the ball a lot of room to the right, and it's just not coming back. It's not picking up a roll. It's still staying in the rotation without picking up the energy by gripping the lane. And what normally happens when you can't get the ball to head pin, you'll miss it on the left the next time. See what he does here. Like that. That's almost, you can almost bet on that. If a player misses it to right 3 times in a row, when he shoots the spare, he's going to miss it left.
Sallas opening in both of his opportunities in the 4th and 9th. We now turn it over to the anchor players. John Beasley can take it off the sheet for 202 for trophies.
Kinko in a load of trouble here. They going at about a 167 pace, and Trophies Unlimited with an opportunity to take a 30-plus pin lead here. Even by filling the frame, shooting 190, it's a substantial lead, and we know how fast they can turn around. As you've mentioned before, Mike, it's a 2-game total pin match for the championship, and it can turn around drastically when they change lanes after this game. But even so, spotting the team in second, 20 to 30 pins going into that second game, it can be tough to catch up. I'm really surprised at the scoring. I'm just shocked that the players aren't scoring higher than they are.
Here's a look at the match play records. Kinko going 4 and 6 in match play. Trophies Unlimited 8 and 2. Kinko on top the whole way.
They built up that huge pinfall lead of 180 plus over the team in second, and just use that to hang on. We've got a little problem with one of the pin spotters here. It's just dumped all the pins on the pin deck. So while we're waiting for that to be fixed, we'll take a look at some more stats, possibly. There it is. Well, this will give you a chance to count how many pins are in a rack down there, folks, as the teams look on and the spectators.
The 94th ABC tournament is being conducted in Huntsville, Alabama, and Dan Ottman Enterprises is atop the team leaderboard with their score of 33-49. Singles, John Socha from New Berlin, Wisconsin, 847. That's going to be tough to beat.
Is that a 4-game score?
That's a 3-game score.
My, that's awesome.
Doubles, here's some folks that have participated on the Brunswick World Team Challenge. Actually, we'll see them at the Grand Championship. Stephen Brinkman and Lenny Borish, 1450 in the doubles. All events, regional PBA player, Jeff Riggles. And the booster team, Pin Setter Lanes #1 at 2883. Everything's taken care of on the lanes. We'll go back to Beasley. Team All Events, Lodge Lanes. It's Bob Goicke's team. We'll also see him in the Grand Championships.
Our producer, Ed Bauer, was on a booster team champion at the American Bowling Congress, so he's got his eagle there and his championship ring, I'm sure.
With that strike, it's 191 for Trophies Unlimited.
Andy Brown, big, strong guy. Reminds me of John Racina the way he bowls, and he gets tremendous rotation on the ball. A lot of power at the back end. Made a good adjustment there. Went more direct, didn't try to circle it quite as much, kept the ball in the playable area. This time up to the foul line, kind of keep an eye on his right elbow. You see that he won't straighten his arm out. He keeps it bent and uses that big, strong upper body strength that he has to get the ball speed. See how he kind of bends it and just pushes it down the lane. And that one he got out into that area again. We talk about an out of bounds, and that's where he got it. But he did get the strike in the 10th frame, got the mark, so it wasn't total disaster. They'll get off the sheet with about 167 and a 24-pin disadvantage here after the first game.
And actually pretty happy to just be down 24. Pretty rough game. 191, 167. We'll be back with the second game, turn things around, and decide our champion from Norcross, Georgia. Welcome back to Brunswick Peachtree Lanes here in Norcross, Georgia. Game 2 of our championship match with Trophies Unlimited taking the first game 191-167.
Tommy Nevitt getting around the side of the ball just the way he likes to, but it didn't quite grip, and you can see him looking back at the lane like, hey, what happened there? I threw that pretty good. The best part about the spare he has left, the 5.8, is that he can use this as a lineup shot when in the 6th frame he gets up to try to help his team again. Maybe he'll have an idea of where to throw the ball for the strike. So he'll throw this like he's trying to get a strike and try to get the ball to finish right there. That's where he wants it next time around.
And Nevitt on top in the leadoff spot, trying to get something going, trying to rally the Kinko troops. Kip Roberts has personally thrown 3 strikes in a row. He seems to be lined in.
Let's see if they have the same type of ball reaction if they get the ball to the right that Kinko did. He didn't get it quite as far to the right, so he kept the ball on line longer, but then obviously the ball jumped in the middle of the head pin in the 4-6-10. Maybe, you never know, but it's very possible that he was watching the other team. and tried to line up based on how their ball reacted. And remember, they kept getting the ball out to the right and it wouldn't come back on lane 36. We're at a 40-lane Brunswick Bowling Center here, Peachtree Lanes in Norcross, Georgia. And boy, what a gorgeous day it is outside. Doesn't get any better.
The High Roller bonus is brought to you by the High Roller Tournament Series, and we expected to give away some money today. It's never too late, though. $500 bonus to 240 games or better, and $500 bonus to 450 series or better for either team.
Well, Kinko could definitely use one of those 240 games right now, because that 24-pin difference could be hard to make up. But right now, the guy that's making the best shots of all is this guy right here, and he has really been tough, but Danny's not getting help from the rest of the team. He's been right in the pocket area, and he's made great shots, but nobody else seems to be able to figure out this pair of lanes here that has been much lower scoring than what we've seen all throughout the tournament.
Kovach is 29, sales representative for Nabisco. Picking up a 7-pin. As we turn it over to Wayne Sheridan, second frame, championship match.
The match is substantially tighter now, only about 14 pins separating these two teams, so it turns around so quickly in the Baker system. Oh, that's off his hand. That ball was going high, and he's lucky it kind of held the line there. Good ball speed, and that's what really kept it on line. Wayne trying to force the ball to the pocket, which is not his style of play. Usually he gives it a little room and lets it roll up, but for some reason maybe he feels that the lanes are a little tricky and he's not getting the ball reaction he wants. You can see him really putting some effort into that shot and trying to get the ball down the lane before it can grip and go high. So he did keep it in the pocket area, and that's important right now that his team gets some spares, fill some frames, and just keep some pressure on Kinko.
Now Kinko has picked up one mark out of that 24 pins. It's now a 14-pin advantage for trophies. Here's Jeff Long, Navy electronics technician.
Just another good game here. This guy, watch, see how he's tucking the elbow in. He wants the ball to be outside of his elbow. He wants to be able to rotate from the bottom with the elbow inside of that mark, and that's what he did there. And he got the good rotation. Didn't quite get it back to the pocket, leaving only the 2-pin.
You spent some time in the Air Force, Earl.
Me, yeah, 4 years in the service, and I enjoyed it. You know, when you look back on something that happened that long ago, before you were born, Mike, by the way.
Electronics technician as well, I hear.
Yeah, that's right. You only remember the good things. Yeah, I was an airborne radio repairman and learned to fix televisions and radios and all that kind of stuff. But back when I did it, they didn't have all these modern things like they do now, transistors and all that stuff. We had big old tubes and things, vacuum tubes. I feel like I was back there with Marconi and people like that.
There's Paul Zevgolis. Led the qualifying, and he seems to be pacing his team. From the left side, 15 pins the lead for Trophies Unlimited.
The big hook again, and they're just not going to get it back from there. We've got to make some adjustments, guys. It's just not going to happen. And they're running out of frames. They continue to throw shots like that and leaving difficult spares. There's going to be a lot of problems. This is a tough spare, the 1-2-4. And you got the 8-pin as a kicker in the back there. Remember last time he missed the head pin twice and then missed it left.
Oh my, 3 opens for Sallas.
Yeah, unfortunate, and still in the game though, still a match, still anybody's game here, and anything can happen. Kip Roberts up now on the right-hand lane. I like this game. Good, strong game here.
Get the feeling that last man standing is going to walk away with this title.
That's trouble. Ball just they just won't, it seems like if the guys that can create the ball speed and throw it fairly straight aren't giving it quite enough room. The guys that hook it are giving it way too much room, and nobody seems to be able to get the ball in the pocket area except for the anchor man, Andy Brown and John Beasley. They seem to be able to get it there, but nobody seems to be able to help them at this point. We are really seeing something that I didn't expect, and I expected big games, big scores.
And we'll take a look at the rest of the top 10. Hall of Famer Dave Davis, two-time defending senior Masters champion.
Not bowling good enough.
Back in
That's
the
why
left
they
hand.
didn't give him a shirt. See, he's not bowling good enough.
McCorvey's Pro Shop from Huntsville finishing 5th.
There you go. That's how it's supposed to be done, boys. That's what Andy says. Now, pay attention, guys.
And the second McCorvey's Pro Shop team, also from Huntsville, finishing in 6th position. Coleman Auto Parts out of Birmingham, finishing 7th. Southern Bowler, Kennesaw, Georgia, in 8th position. Dixie Bowl Lanes, finishing 9th. And rounding out the top 10, Strike Zone Bowler Shop out of Pittsburgh.
He's going to like that one. Oh, the 4-pin. Excuse me. I thought he was going to get a strike there, but that was really a good shot. I like the way he got out of that ball and good ball speed.
You always told me that 4-pin high is how you adjusted.
I like to be high in a pocket when I'm trying to line up, and then I just increase the ball speed slightly, and I know I'm going to be flush. That's the way I look at it. Doesn't always work, but, you know, that's the best entering angle to strike at, in my opinion.
We'll be back with the final 5 frames from Norcross, Georgia, right after this. Final time through the lineup, 6th frame, second game, championship match. Here's Tommy Nevitt. 60% strikes in match play.
Well, he's got the right kind of a roll going that he can keep the ball in play longer and keep it on line longer. But remember what happened last time? And remember, guys always make adjustments based on how their ball reacts. And sometimes if you don't throw the ball well, you make an adjustment off a bad shot. And I think that's what Tommy did. First frame, he was kind of happy with the way he rolled it, but he left the 5-8 on the light hit and made an adjustment off that. Now he goes to the middle of the head pin. He's fortunate not to get the open. They did get the spare, and that's key at this point. .29 pins separating these two teams at this point, and it's looking like Trophies Unlimited is not going to get any pressure from Kinko, and we didn't expect that either, Mike.
Not at all. Trip Roberts in his last effort in the first frame went high, 4-6-10. Let's see what kind of adjustment he's got here.
More ball speed, got it way out to the right, and basically that out of bounds area, and didn't get it back. The 2-pin only. Fortunate, really, on that kind of a hit that far behind the head pin, not to leave the 10-pin with it. I have to believe that that there's been a transition. The oil has moved around. The players are struggling because of that. I just can't believe this much. Watch out. Oh, boy. That this much talent can get in this much trouble this quickly. I just feel the players are confused because the dressing has moved around and they just can't seem to find it.
28 pins for Trophies Unlimited. They're getting late in the game for Kinko. 7th frame. As a team, they were 59% strikes in match play. They're going to need a couple here.
Well, this is the guy to do it. Danny's been the man that's been able to keep it in the pocket area. Oh, boy, look at how far out in the lane he got that one. And he got him started right there. That's what they need. And Trophies Unlimited cannot continue to go this way. They have to feel like we've got to do something. We can't let these guys have a chance to get back in this match. Another look at that shot. Really heavy end-over-end roll. Hits the pocket and kind of saws that 5-pin in half.
Here's Wayne Sheridan crossing.
Wayne Sheridan actually got away with one there, an easy spare, and filling frames for Trophies Unlimited at this point is key, obviously, but if they could catch a double, they could really make it hard for Kinko. Kinko on a strike, and with their really top players coming up. Second time through the lineup is generally when they get loose, and this is when it's got to happen for them. They started with a 167 game, dug themselves a real deep hole in this 2-game total pin match, and now they're trying to find a way to get out of that. Trophies Unlimited not doing anything, going at a 180 pace, and just keeping them in the match, basically, Mike.
And they've been here before. No one wants to win this more than Wayne Sheridan. The last time we saw them on television was in Mechanicsburg, Pennsylvania at ABC West Lanes. And they would love to get a berth in the Grand Championships. Here's Long. Oh, and a break and a double.
That could be the turning point in the match. The ball high on the head pin, in the pocket area, but high on the head pin. Had the 4-9 standing briefly. Another look at it, playing right over the third arrow, the 15 board. Watch the ball go up high on the head pin, but he gets a good pin action. Something, I don't know what, kicked out the 9. But what a great break for Kindo. Zevgolis to try to answer.
And now we're going to turn it up as we get to money time. Zevgolis with a bit of emotion. And Earl, they bowl 9 or 10 of these events a year, and they would really, really look for a berth in the Grand Championships.
Here's another look at that. You see how far away from his ankle Paul rolls, swings the ball. Very unique style, but what that does is keep the ball straight. You can't hook it a lot with that kind of an arm swing, and that's what he wants. He wants to control the ball. Tell you what, best shot of the match by far for Ernie Sallas. The greatest, just a great shot when they really needed it the most. Here's another look at it. He finally got the ball in the pocket, first time today, and not only that, but he got all 10. 3 in a row.
Ernie checked his watch and he goes, it's about time. And what a great time for that shot. Roberts looking to double. All of a sudden, we've got an exciting match as the strikes are starting to come.
Well, it's been a close match up to this point, but now the players are starting to respond to each other. There's some emotion involved, and we're getting down to the guys that are getting paid to play. These guys on the bottom have to perform, and it's coming down to the anchormen.
No. Not what Andy Brown was looking for. "17 pins, the lead going into this 10th frame. And it's going to get bigger.
Well, it looks to me like it's over, Mike, and Trophies Unlimited got their wish that you were talking about. They are going to Reno. Paul Zevgolis threw his hands up in the air a minute ago and said, hey, we made it finally.
That's going to do it. Wayne Sheridan and the Trophies Unlimited team have earned a berth to the Silver Legacy Grand Championships in Reno later this year in August. Culmination of our 5th season of competition of team bowling here on the Brunswick World Team Challenge. And now the pins are starting to fall.
Yeah, it's pretty easy when it doesn't really matter. But what a great finish for Trophies Unlimited. They applied the pressure when they had to. Kindo couldn't respond, and they performed. Trophies Unlimited, they performed like a championship team, and they are. And you can see the disappointment from the team that led from the qualifying rounds all the way through, but didn't perform well in match play, and that they demonstrated that again here in the championship match.
To the championship match. But they've got a chance to go to Miami and Don Carter Kindo Lanes, and another chance to qualify for the Grand Championships. But today, it's Trophies Unlimited. And we'll be right back to meet our winners right after this.
You're a winner, and you deserve recognition. In sanctioned leagues and tournaments, 2 million awards are handed out each year by the national governing bodies of bowling, the American Bowling Congress, the Women's International Bowling Congress, and the Young American Bowling Alliance.
But your membership card entitles sanctioned league bowlers to more than the awards program.
There's more than $1 million each for college scholarships and veterans hospitals, bowlers supporting their communities.
Every member has a chance to compete in thousands of special events, locally, nationally, and internationally.
Sanctioned leagues also provide for the standardization of rules and supplies, plus league prize money is bonded.
Equipment testing and research helps advance the sport.
Your membership card does all that.
And every lane is inspected annually by local association volunteers. In short, everything runs smoother, and sanctioned leagues are a lot more fun.
So have more fun and help shape the future of bowling by making sure your league is sanctioned by the national governing bodies, the ABC, WIBC, or YABA.
The Brunswick World Team Challenge is brought to you by Brunswick. Bowling is sold on Brunswick worldwide. By Contour Power Grips, the pioneers of the finger grip industry. More pros use Contour Power Grips. You should too. By Keepsake, designer and manufacturer of championship ring awards. By Bud Light, proud sponsors of bowling. Make it a Bud Light. and by the American Bowling Congress and the Women's International Bowling Congress, providing championship service to sanctioned leagues across the United States. Make sure your league is sanctioned by the national governing bodies. The American Bowling Congress Brunswick World Team Challenge 5-player team competition. Dublin Bowl, our next stop in Dublin, California, and Hawthorne Lanes. Both of these events are sold out. We do have spots left in Kansas City and in Miami at MKC Pro Bowl and Don Carter Kindo Lanes. And women's division only spots left at Country Club Lanes. Princess Lanes in Pittsburgh is sold out. And the Grand Championships, of course, coming up in August. The Silver Legacy Grand Championships at the National Bowling Stadium in Reno, Nevada. For more information, get your team involved. Call 414-423-3387.
And here are our winners, Trophies Unlimited. And Wayne Sheridan, the captain of the team, is here with me. And Wayne, it's been a while. You guys have been trying to do this for a long time.
Yes, Earl. Myself, I've tried with different teams for about 4 years and probably 40 tournaments. But this particular team, we've bowled together for the last 2 years in about 13 or 14 events. This year we bowled in 7 tournaments, made 5 top 10s, and we finally made it to the #1 spot. Going to Reno.
Really looking forward to that trip to Reno. Well, that's
Absolutely.
great. Congratulations, Wayne. And here to present the championship trophy is Roger Dawkin, the Assistant Executive Director of the American Bowling Congress. Roger?
Thank you, Earl. Wayne, on behalf of the ABC and its more than 2 million members, I'm pleased to present you with this plaque, emblematic of your championship at the Atlanta stop of the Brunswick World Team Challenge, and I'm going to look forward to seeing you at the Silver Legacy and the National Bowling Stadium. Good luck.
You also get the championship rings, the Brunswick bowling balls, the Lynn shoes, so it's going to be really a nice trip. Don't forget to wear those new Lynn shoes. You can win that money for shooting that 300 game, Wayne.
Already got some.
There you go. And Mike, you have a question from maybe for Paul Zevgolis down there?
That's right. Thank you, Earl. Paul, with all the new bowling equipment out there, you managed to lead qualifying and lead this team to victory with the same ball you used last year. Tell me about it.
Well, it's just a quake, and, some of the old balls are still good, so, if you can still get them, I recommend you get them.
How did you manage to lead the qualifying here?
Just consistency. I practice 7 days a week.
7 days a week. That's a lot of practice. Earl?
All right. Thank you, Mike. Thank you, Paul. What it really comes down to is Paul doesn't wear out a bowling ball. He doesn't roll it that many revolutions, right, Wayne?
Oh, he gets at least 3 or 4 revs every shot he makes.
All right. Well, it's been a wonderful week for all of us here at Peachtree Lanes, and we hope to see you again next year. And again, congratulations to our champions. Trophies Unlimited.
The next Brunswick World Team Challenge telecast is an open division event from Earl Anthony's Dublin Bowl in Dublin, California. Check your regional sports network listings for dates and times. For Earl Anthony, this is Mike Jakubowski. So long from Brunswick Peachtree Lanes in Norcross, Georgia. This has been an ABC Eagle Productions telecast.